Hey there, hi there. It's me, Priscilla B. And welcome, viewers. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. This is Leo's video. So, Leo's, thank you so much for clicking on this video. My daughter Luna says hi. She's a Cancer. So we're going to get started. Luna has a message for you. I talk a lot about mindful souls and reference their deck and their cards in my readings. I just wanted to read you a little bit about mindful souls. Mindful souls is a little magical heaven for anyone interested in spirituality, mindfulness, personal growth, crystals, jewelry, and other magical things. By teaching people simple ways in which crystal energy can benefit their daily lives, our hope is for you to feel empowered, motivated, and excited. Okay, and I definitely feel that way when I read their cards. So I hope you do as well. Now, there is a caution here. Your life may never be the same. Step into the world of crystals where every day feels magical. It's fair to assume that the use of crystal energy can be traced back to the very origins of humanity. Spanning through time, places, and cultures, gemstones have left imprints in our history, mythology, and most importantly, our hearts. Um, a 1,000-year-old tradition that has now found its way to you. As you start using the crystal card deck, get ready to decode the meanings of potent crystals, explore their benefits and healing energy, learn when, where, and how to use them, and connect with transformative affirmations. Okay, so that's a little bit about the Mindful Souls cards that I use, and it's a company, and they do sell crystals along with the Mindful Souls crystal deck. I definitely highly recommend checking out if you want to purchase a little Mindful Souls box with some nice items in there that help keep you grounded and your spirituality all good and clean energy, positive energy. Yes, it protect you from negative energies. I even wear one of their necklaces that they made. It's very tiny, you can hardly see it, but it's an opal. It's called the Dahlia opal with some pink little gemstones around it, around the opal itself. Okay, and it's on a little gold chain. Just a little, jewelry, accessorized type information for you there. Now, I'm going to move into your reading, your love reading for the month of June. Right away, I'm getting this thing that it's you feel like maybe have failed at something, failed in some way. And this little card is so fun. It says, "You failed, so what?" Right? And the kid fell off a skateboard and sort of gashed his cheek a little bit there and hurt himself a little bit there, and he's laughing about it. Okay, so I don't know if when you get hurt, maybe your first reaction isn't always to laugh it off, right? Especially if it's very severe pain. But maybe there's some part of you that's oh, you know what, I messed up on this or something like that. But you know what? It's okay. I make mistakes. I can move on. I can learn from it. And that really applies to love as well. It's picking who your partner is going to be and deciding whether or not this is the right person for you. And sometimes during that certain period of time in your life, they are the right person, and they make your life feel full of joy and wonder and love and enthusiasm. And then some stuff might happen, and then it might negatively impact your relationship with them, and then you might not be. You might have doubts or insecurities that maybe it's because you don't deserve certain love, or it's your fault that the relationship went bad. But I'm not here to point fingers at anybody. And also, Leos, I don't think you've done anything that makes you feel like you're not worthy of love. Okay, because you definitely are worthy of love. So now we're gonna go into a deeper world. Okay, don't push or force your way through life. Finding balance, even in dark times, will open your heart to the depth of compassion in everyday moments. Okay. I think there's a woman here in a dark forest, and I think that you know, uh, think, Leo, that maybe you might be feeling a sense of like almost like lost. It's like you find yourself, walking through a dark forest, but you know, there is some glowing, flowers here, it looks like, and the moon looks like to be illuminating the path forward, which is, trusting your intuition, feeling out the energies that are coming in for you now at this time, okay? But it's almost like a question of like, when is the dark forest, when is it, when are you not going to be in a dark forest? It's like, you don't mind trusting your intuition, you don't mind trusting your feelings and letting those ideas and thoughts illuminate your pathway forward. But it's like, why does the forest need to be so dark and gloom, right? Now, a lot of it probably has to do with the fact that you just realized that you were with a person that um, has hurt you in some way, right? One form or another. Okay. So I'm gonna read you a palmistry, like a palm hand reading. Okay. So I don't know if this resonates with your hand specifically. You can take a look at the image and see if like your hand happens to have the same lines here, or maybe this is someone that you need when you are looking for a partner. You might want somebody who has these characteristics. Okay. So we have here the King of Clubs. Okay, the King of Clubs here. Okay, so palmistry of a person with strong feelings and character. The love line is short and straight. The starting points of wisdom line and the life line are far apart. The love line is short and straight, and the starting points of the wisdom line and the lifeline are far apart. People with this kind of palmistry have personality and a high artistic aesthetic sense. Okay, so this could be you. Okay, Leos, you could have these characteristics. I don't know. You let me know in the comments below if you have these lines on your hand. Okay, but your palm here, okay? But it's important to realize that like maybe you need to find someone who has these characteristics, somebody who has this similar aesthetic to you, these similarities that share similar common interests with you. Because when you're looking for a person and ways to connect with them on deeper, more spiritual levels, more intimate levels, you're not looking for a partner just to like, hook up with. You're looking for someone to share a life with. Okay, you're looking for someone that you want to start a family with. So it's important for you to see that these characteristics are something that you're looking for and be able to identify them so you can avoid, partnering up with the people that you have in the past, per se, that haven't been there for you, connected with you emotionally, I feel like. Um, they might not have a high artistic aesthetic sense similar to yours. Um, and someone who is very wise and intuitive and emotionally intuitive, that's somebody that you can find maybe shares your same level of awareness here. Okay, your same emotional level of intellect here. So you are going into a deeper world in a sense, but it's like you also at the same time are like, it's not going to be always sunshine and rainbows in a deeper world, right? Stay true. The need for validation from others is an illusion. You are not responsible for how others perceive you, but it is your responsibility to stay true to yourself. Okay, so it's so easy to fall into that sort of mindset that you need to seek out validation, you need more followers, you need more likes, you need more friends, you need a partner, you need to be in a relationship with someone, right? That's an illusion. All you really need to do is just be true to yourself, and those you will start to attract those people in your life that are meant to be there and meant to stay there. Okay. And then I have here for you the Chariot. Okay, so you've got like this sort of old, sort of like, 1950s looking car here, with a dove landing on it, the headlights on in the rain. Okay, so maybe you are looking for that sort of not like outdated romantic stuff, like a man bringing a woman flowers is a gesture of romance. It's like an old, it might seem old fashioned and like out of style, but it's like, are you looking for a deeper meaning relationship? Because those things are symbolic. A man bringing you flowers is symbolic to how he feels about you. He's saying, you are beautiful like these flowers. You are, um, flowers have many different meanings as well, too. So let's say you're very drawn spiritually and emotionally to a certain type of flower. That's your favorite flower. And then he brings you those flowers, right? So that's a sign that he's thinking about you and caring about you in a more deeper, meaningful, emotional level. Now, if you were to say, I really hate, um, white flowers, for example, okay, and he was to bring you white flowers, what does that mean to you? He's not listening. He's not. He's literally. It's almost like subconsciously. I mean, maybe consciously he did it on purpose as a joke, but like I think on a maybe deeper subconscious level, he doesn't care if you like white flowers or not. He's not thinking about you. Maybe he has a long list of women that he has on like a speed dial or whatever, rotation or whatever, and he's just like, oh, I forget, what are Leo's favorite flowers? I don't remember. You know what? I'm at the store. I'll just pick up the white ones. It's like, I don't like white flowers, so why'd you get white flowers? You know what I'm saying? And like the reason behind you not liking white flowers is probably pretty significant to you, right? Maybe it reminds you of death. Maybe it reminds you of, a time in your life where things were very hard and, you know, the white flowers are just like a trigger for you. I don't know. Like, we do live in that day and age, right? Where there are certain things that we are connected to on an emotional level that trigger us and upset us. And now imagine if the person you want to be in a partnership with, an adult, intimate relationship with, is bringing you something that you don't like, right? So I feel like this is something that has to do with the chariot, and that has to do with bringing in messages. And the dove is a symbol of love and peace, okay, and purity and hope and goodwill. And it's landing in the rain of all times, right? Since when do you ever see a dove land on a old 1950s car in the rain with headlights? That's like so random. But it's supposed to be drawing in a visual of like, the car represents old times, and it represents this old nostalgic feeling of when maybe a gentleman was told that bringing flowers to a girl or bringing her a box of chocolates or paying for her date was like a romantic gesture of like, you know what, you don't stress about money right now, like I'll get it, like I'll get your dinner for you. And there was no strings attached. He wasn't expecting to get some that night or whatever. I mean, obviously there are dirtbags. Obviously there are, just rude, misogynistic types out there. But the dove is like, you know what? There is hope. There is a chance that you'll find someone who isn't like, it's not transactional. It's like they're not forcing you to like not feel peace or love when they're around, okay? And rain, again, is another very strong symbolism. Like, rain is always in movies. It's always in, like, The Notebook, for example. There's a huge romantic scene in The Notebook where Noah and, I don't remember the girl's name. What's her name? I know the actress, Rachel McAdams. Allie. Yeah, Allie. So Noah and Allie are kissing in the rain, right? And it's just such a beautiful romantic moment, right? And there's like, she says, oh, I wish I could be a bird. So, and that took place in like the 1950s. So, or 60s or whatever. I don't know exactly what time it was, but it was around that era, okay? So, when being romantic was good and it was acceptable. But now we live in a society where being romantic is like cringy or something, or not. Like, women can pay for their own flowers, women can pay for their own meals, right? And yeah, women can buy their own flowers and they can buy their own meals. And that's okay because they're single. But if they're looking for a romantic partner, like, I mean, come on now. It's not very romantic when you go out to dinner and the man's like, oh, sorry, I left my wallet at home. It's not very romantic when the man's like, oh, you have a better job than I do, so you're covering it, right? Like some women, they might be like, yeah, okay. But like we want to be like wined and dined, okay? And I might just be talking to a select few women out there. But Leo, I feel like you're one of those women that really appreciates a man who shows up on time, who offers at least to pay for things, doesn't make you feel uncomfortable, and brings you flowers, brings you chocolates. Maybe at this day and age of social media, maybe you're posting pictures of, your favorite perfume bottle. I'll tell you a little personal story of mine. The way I met my husband, we both were using the dating app Tinder, which I'm not ashamed of. Like, it's that day and age. People go online to meet people. And it took us like forever to like get a date and everything like that. But eventually we did get a date. We talked for a while and then we did get a date together. And it was right after Mother's Day. And I didn't even know this because my now husband, but he wasn't my husband at the time. My date, Dan was like, I see that she likes Miss Dior perfume and tulips. So I'm gonna go to the store and get the tulips and get the Miss Dior perfume. And he did not know that I was a mom either. And he didn't know that I never got any gifts on Mother's Day, like ever. Like I do get the gift of being mom and spending time with my daughter, but no one ever like acknowledged like that I deserved like maybe a card every year or like some kind of small gift from my relatives or whatever. But anyways, it's okay. Like they're not emotionally attached to me in that way. But anyways, at the time, anyways. So yeah, he goes to Ulta Beauty and gets me the Miss Dior perfume, and they think he's buying it for his mom, which is weird, but okay. And then they put on there Happy Mother's Day, and after our date, I open up the box and I see it's a Miss Dior perfume. He saved the date for after the perfume. I mean, for after the movie. Okay, and then he also got me tulips, which is the first thing I saw when he went to pick me up, and he even put them in a vase with water. It was so sweet and enduring. And no man that I had ever gone on a date with ever before in my entire life had ever done that. And I was just like, that is like a real, like, classy gentleman thing, romantic thing to do. And I was instantly like, oh, this guy has potential. Like, this guy might actually be a good guy. And he was a good guy. Like, he still is a good guy. But I'm just saying, like, you have to look for those things in relationships when you're first starting out. And he did pick me up in his car. And I feel like he said I was like the most beautiful woman he'd like ever seen, more beautiful than my pictures online. So a man who says that about you, that's a sign from the universe. A man who gets you your favorite perfume, that's a sign from the universe saying, like, this guy has potential. Okay? And I feel like your potential match is definitely coming in strong here in the month of June. Okay? So, yeah, we have Lion Leo. That's you. You're the ferocious lion, goddess energy, okay? Lioness, okay? Harness the loyal and protective aura of the lion and charge ahead magnificently. Yeah, the chariot is all about charging ahead. Charge ahead toward meeting your soulmate, meeting your twin flame, meeting your person, meeting your other half, okay? Somebody who understands your aesthetic, somebody who understands your wisdom, someone who understands your beauty and your intellect, someone who understands love and romance. In the past, there's been people who, left you feeling pretty crappy. Um, yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, you don't have to do this today if you don't want to. Like, you don't have to, like, go out there today and, start dating or whatever and look for somebody if you're not ready yet. Okay? But I'm just saying, like, there is the potential out there. Lasting love. Yeah, there is the potential for lasting love. Okay? This is your true love. So when you do finally come out of, like, hermit mode, you see the owl here is hiding in his little hole in the tree there. He doesn't want to come out, right? I've been there. I honestly, I've been in that place where I'm like, I'm not even going to try and look for someone. I'm not even going to waste my time, breath, energy. I'm just going to do me for a while and learn more about myself and, focus on me, right? I've done that before. And it's fine, right? Obviously, but then there was a time in my life where I was like, you know what? I want to meet somebody. I want to fall in love. I want to see if that's out there for me. And yeah, I've been hurt. I've been broken hearted. I've been, abandoned, like emotionally, by people. I've been ghosted before, but it doesn't stop me from it never stopped me before from having hope, okay? And it doesn't stop me from believing that there's hope possibility for you. And every day, in my own relationship, in my own marriage, there's work to be done, okay? There's better communication skills that can happen. There's, planning ahead for romantic dates can happen. And it's good to have the support, especially when you have children. So I don't know if you have children now, but I do. And it's important for family members I feel like if they're capable, okay, because sometimes you get family members that are not capable of handling, babysitting, okay, and that kind of thing. But if you have family members that are available or friends that are available that can help you and say, you know what, you go have a nice fun date with your husband. I'll watch the kids for you. Go have a fun romantic one night, weekend, a couple hours to yourself, whatever. Like that's like what good friends and family do for each other. Okay. So anyways, but I'm getting off track here. But there's a lasting love here. Okay. And then there's like this trumpet flower. Okay. Another moon flower. Okay. Again, another symbol of trusting your intuition and letting it guide you. And you've got the little like fairy godmother up here, casting that love spell on you and hopefully getting you and your person united and having a blast and having a good old time. Okay. So there's that. Now I'm getting this, the month of January, okay? So this reading is for June, but there's something about January that you need to know. Ditch old habits, recharge, and focus on self care, fresh start, and goal setting. Okay, so January is typically a very cold, wintry month. Okay, there's a lot of snow. Okay, so I feel like for you, it's like you, January is also the month of the new year and making new resolutions. I'm sorry, resolutions. So Leo, maybe June for you is going to be like January, where it's like you might have been feeling cold, you might have been feeling like a lonely, but you want to start a new chapter in your life. You want to start a new beginning in your life, okay? So you want to start making goals for yourself, and one of those goals is definitely, I feel like, um, preparing yourself to go out again and look for love again and find love and be in love again. And I think that is something that you are striving to do here, Leo. Okay, it's time for you to like brush off the snow, sort of, and brush off the negative thoughts and energies that you had on you once before, of feeling like you don't deserve to feel warm and fun and alive again, right? Like so, but you do deserve that. Okay. Now we have Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, we have the sacred scarab on the palm of the universe here, or God's hand coming down from heaven, or whatever, or maybe you can see that this sacred scarab is really a strong symbol here. And it's really showing me and indicating to me here that it's a time of abundance for you. Okay, it's a time for you to receive the rewards and blessings that you deserve. Okay, because I feel like sometimes what happens here is like you will want to go out and put yourself out there and find love again and feel loved again, and there will be some hindrance. There will be something obscuring or blocking your path, because maybe you've never been told that you're worthy of love. You've never been told that you're worthy of feeling successful financially and having abundance here. That's another huge relationship red flag, is if your man is like saying like you don't deserve financial security. That's financial abuse. Okay, so it's like you do deserve financial success, and you deserve to find a person that wants you to have a career, that wants you to have financial success for yourself, that does believe that you deserve abundance, that does believe you deserve money and rewards and things like that. Because this is really a card of that. It's like the universe's way of saying you do deserve rewards for your hard work. You do deserve a partner who believes in this as well. So make sure you're looking for someone that is supportive of you and your career, okay, and is like, oh wow, yeah, you want to go make money for yourself, like that's cool, like yeah, like you know what I'm saying, like that's just a very like straightforward, like to the point conversation, okay? But I'm saying if things are going to be developing deeper and more meaningful, that is a good sign that this person does support you and your career goals and ambitions. That is a green flag, okay? Um, so now I'm gonna get some pull some of these gourmet tarot deck cards for you. Okay, so I'm gonna pull some of these for you real quick. Overall, Leo, I think this is a really good positive reading and messages for you at this time, because it's like I know what it's like to just be like in love with someone, but they don't love you back. I've been there, okay? And I didn't even know it because I was so young. I didn't even know what those terms were or meant. But it was like over time, though, I did realize it. As I got older and I saw the same pattern of behavior with that person, it was like, it was somebody like, I mean, I'm 32 years old now. So it's like, this is just like when I was a kid, basically. Like, what do kids know about love or being in love, right? But anyways, so basically, like, I really, 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 like, believed in my heart that I had met my soulmate and I was in love with someone back when I was in, like, middle school. And that person, like, never wanted to take our relationship public. And I'm like, it's middle school. Like, what kids are going to be taking that stuff seriously, right? But I did, because that's who I am. I'm a huge romantic. Um, yeah, so telling you, a story about me when I was in middle school. But, I was one of those girls that just wrote the guy I had a crush on's name with in my diaries with little hearts and, like, envisioned us getting married someday. I was definitely one of those girls, okay? But, like, obviously, like, telling that person how I felt about them and them saying they felt the same way via, like, text messages in, like, 2007 or whatever. Like, it's a very young, sort of like naive, almost a little bit, can be, unless it turns out to actually was soulmates all along. In my case, it was not that. Okay, in my case, he was just using me and had other intentions. But you know what? It's okay. Like, I mean, eventually when we got older, it wasn't okay, and I let him know that, like, I was serious about him, and if he didn't love me, then I didn't want to continue having, like, a secret text message only relationship, right? That wasn't real to me. And he, obviously was like, I'm not in love with you. Otherwise, who knows what would have happened? Different timeline, right? But I'm just saying, like, don't be afraid to still express how you feel, even if. What's wrong? Don't be afraid to express how you feel, even if you might receive rejection from the other person, because at least you're, like, putting yourself out there, right? And that's what's, like, the scariest part of all, isn't it? It's like when you do put yourself out there and you do express how you feel to someone, and you hope, obviously, in your heart that they respond with the same mutual feelings, right? And that's not always the case, right? But don't lose sight of the importance of trusting in your intuition. And here comes the message of the moon. Lady Moon gives you the keys to mystery, the other feminine power. Okay, so there's still a lot of mystery here for you to solve on a deeper level with yourself. Okay, Leo. So even if you're not, you're meeting somebody in June, but you're going to be going on a journey with them, right? And however long that journey may be, right? Hopefully, it is just filled with lots of love and positivity, and hopefully that they can help, see what a mysterious person you are, and you guys can develop a deep, meaningful relationship through that, right? Now, if, for whatever reason that relationship doesn't work out, don't lose sight of the importance that you made that choice to love another person and try and go on a journey with them together, okay? Because that's a very deep bond, okay? Regardless of how long it lasts or how long it is, okay? And obviously there are going to be people with like the wrong intentions that could be lying and manipulative. But honestly, Leo, I don't think, I think you're so wise and intelligent, Leo, that that's not going to happen. And, if this person turns out to, be a jerk or whatever, just know that in your heart that you loved them and you supported them, okay? Because that's a beautiful thing, okay? Now it's going to get into the gourmet tarot for you. So I have, the Page of Cups. This little cute little cup of hot chocolate with marshmallows. Okay, there's two little cups here actually, but it's like it's important. But it's like there is so much like beauty in just and love and caringness and just like the small things like tiny little marshmallows. Okay, tiny little white fluffy marshmallows that melt in your mouth. Okay, like feelings of nostalgia, feelings of sharing a cup of hot cocoa with your person, and maybe they know how many marshmallows you make, like maybe they know how you like your hot chocolate, maybe they know your favorite drink, right? And that can create an emotional bond all on its own, okay? Is someone who knows your favorite drink, someone who knows like how you tick, right? Someone who gets you right at your level. I feel like that's a message from the Page of Cups, okay? Oh, look, and we got the Nine of Cups. We got all the tropical cocktails, or mocktails, right, at the beach here, okay? There's all these different flavors. So when you put yourself out there for the first time, there's gonna probably be different flavors, right? Like you're a flavor all of your own, Leo. So there's gonna be options, right? Just don't get stuck in that illusion that trying every cocktail is the best thing, right? You know what I mean, okay? I don't need to go any deeper than that in that metaphor, okay? But that is like what I'm saying here, though. It's like you might see something that looks good, right? But you want to get to know what's in that cocktail first. You know what I'm saying? You want to know the ingredients, right? You want to know that, like, maybe really, really like, lime flavored cocktails, right? But like if you read the ingredients, it's like, oh, that's not lime in there, right? It's like that's something else. You know what I'm saying? So like be cautious and be careful, okay? And we also have here, oh, the Six of Wands. We have the lamb rack here, okay? So, this is an interesting card, Leo, because I think, not everyone is a lamb person, okay? Not everybody is gonna, like get you, Leo. Okay, is what I'm saying. And you have to just have that in the back of your mind, just knowing that not everyone is going to understand you and your intentions and who you are. Not everyone is going to get your vibe or your aesthetic. And that's why you need to find someone who does get your vibe and aesthetic. Someone who does say, you know what? Like, yeah, let's go check out that venue or whatever for live music because they like similar genre music to you. I'm not saying find someone who likes there's not going to be somebody in the world just likes everything you like. That I think is just impossible to do. But finding similarities is like the groundwork to the beginning to set you off on the right path. So make sure, because not everybody's a lamb person, all right? There are people who don't like lamb. I like lamb, but there are people who don't, right? So you have to remember, Leo, that there's not going to be people that are going to have everything in common with you, but you need to find something. So if like lamb, for instance, is really important to you, like if live music, right, is really important to you, right? Then you want to find someone who enjoys listening to live music with, right? If, going to the movies is something you really enjoy doing, then that you want to find someone who really enjoys going to the movies as well, because then you're both invested in sharing fun times together and fun memories together, enjoying good, positive things that are out there in the world. Music is a great one. Movies are is a great one. Food is a great one. I know I'm using my food cards here. So food is a great one too. Okay. So maybe like you can be with someone who, doesn't like, say listening to pop music, right? But they really do like still going and seeing live bands that you both like, right? So there you can find some common ground. There's some common interest there, okay? And yeah. Oh, look, here we go. We've got the Knight of Pentacles, okay? It says tacos, okay? So, on the sign here for the food truck. It also kind of looks like a gyro too, almost, with like the sour cream and the onions. The ground meat, jalapenos. Oh yeah, I see it. Okay, so it's like a taco here. Okay, so it's like you have to remind yourself, okay, that these cards are making me hungry. No, but you have to remind yourself here, okay, that it's okay and it's important for you to explore and try new things and new opportunities here, okay? And for your person to want to do this too, I want your person, like, I'm not saying who you should choose, Leo, okay? You choose who you feel is right to you and trust your intuition with that. But based off my experience, it's important to choose somebody who kind of helps you get out of your comfort zone just enough to where you're feeling comfortable to try new things, but not so uncomfortable that you're like having an image first, panic attacks and anxiety, okay? So just keep that in mind, okay? Because somebody who helps you bring you out of your comfort zone is kind of the vibe I'm getting from this card and this energy. And also the wands is like trying trying something new that has something a little bit different to it, that's got like an edge to it, that sort of like piques your interest a little bit, piques your mind a little bit, that sort of is like, oh, you know what, that might actually be fun, right? And someone who actually wants to do that with you, okay? Because I mean, you have to let yourself be open to that. And one of the my favorite things that I first liked about my husband is that when I first met him, he was like willing to try like new things with me. Okay, he was willing to go to like food places and try new foods, and like he never done that before, and like I barely ever done that. So it was like something new for us both, and I feel like we really enjoyed bonding over that together because it was like trying new things, trying new food. So, and food is very important for the soul, okay? It's very, very important for nourishing your body. Food for the soul, it's good. Literal food is good. Like, that's where that metaphor comes from, I'm sure. And also, like, food is a cure to everything, okay? It cures a lot of things. Like, you're really hangry in the morning, and your person brings you your favorite Danish and coffee in the bed. That's like a highlight of your day, I feel like. So, just enjoy those things. Enjoy those moments, all right? Um, yeah, and we have Death and Eight of Swords, the bowl of rice with the Death and energy, and the Eight of Swords. So I don't want you to be scared and be thinking like, hold on, let me turn this down a little bit. I don't want you to be scared and be thinking, oh my gosh, death, like, is this person like gonna die or whatever? Like, and I'm not gonna meet them? No, Leo. It's like, let's get realistic, okay? Like, this is like something that you have to remember is like, it's symbolic to you transforming yourself into trying something that is new to you, or trying something that you tried in the past and it didn't work out, but there's a possibility that this time it will work out, Leo, okay? And that's the hugest thing I'm getting from the month of June, okay? It's like things might actually work out, but you have to have faith and believe that they will work out, okay? And this Eight of Swords, cheese, okay? Now, we all know also that, we live in a society today, in a world today, where mental illness is really, I feel like, predominant, especially in like people like my age, within like a 10-year, like from like age like 20 to age like 35 or whatever. I know a lot of people that suffer from mental illness or have suffered from mental illness. Okay, in fact, my brother-in-law did, and you know, it has to be taken seriously. So if you find yourself with someone who might, come out and say, like I have a mental illness or something like that, if they are taking care of it and they are taking care of themselves and they are aware of it, or maybe you yourself, I don't want to like upset you or try to like, I suffered from depression when I was a teenager, probably because the guy like didn't like me back. Like, I mean, obviously that seems so minuscule now, but I mean, at the time it was real serious, okay? But like, you know, like there are things like that where it's like if you take yourself, your mental health seriously, and even physical health too as well, like eating good food here, it's important to take care of those things. And the Eight of Swords is usually a part of indicating to you, like, take care of yourself and your body and your mind, because sometimes you can find yourself in a situation where, like, I don't want to give out too much information, but, with respect to certain individuals, but, I knew a woman who I don't think, from my perspective and from what I knew and the information I was giving, she did not know a lot about mental health, and she didn't know how to really like take care of someone with that type of illness, which it is a serious illness. Like it has to be taken seriously. But I think that like, you know what, if you are not like informing yourself and teaching yourself how to take some care of someone with mental illness, then that can be very problematic down the line, because it has to be taken seriously. So I knew this woman who, like, I don't think she fully understood or knew the grasp of what was happening to her person, and um, it was like watching like a train wreck, because it was like anytime I offered any insight or help or advice, because I grew up around a lot of mental illness, and should be no stigma around that or whatever. It's like, that happens, right? But like I kind of was like aware of it, like I kind of knew something was up, but it's not really like my place, other than saying and sharing the information that I have. It's not really my place to like make decisions for somebody else's partner. It's not my place to make decisions for my partner. I can give advice and say, what I think we should do as a team, or suggest things, but ultimately they have to make that choice on their own, right? But I'm saying, like, think about these deeper concepts of like, if you partner up with somebody and they tell you they have a mental illness, and they're managing it, be aware of that, and make sure you're not like forgetting that, and getting sidetracked off with like other things, because sometimes we really care about people, and we can get very caught up in work, and we can get very caught up in like work, but that's the only thing I can think of, because that's usually what people's excuses are. But like, make sure that you're not saying, what, well, my person might be sick, but I don't really have the energy to care about that or put that into perspective. But it is a very serious thing, so take that into consideration, because I do know that this woman I know, her partner, he did end up you know not surviving the mental illness. Okay, so I don't know. I'm trying not to give away too many details, because out of respect, but I'm trying to put it into perspective. Like, that is a real, true thing that is existing in our world today. Is that a lot of young people from ages like probably younger than 20 even, but from what I know in my experience, people I know, from ages like 20 to 35 or so, whatever, do suffer from these things. Okay, and Eight of Swords is barely like that Shakurti knife is like, that knife is really on the cheese there. Okay, it's like on point there. It's like, don't let money, I feel like, factor in. Don't let get distracted with having all this fun with your person. Once it gets serious, that you forget about like the importance of knowing that they do have an illness, and like there are certain things that might trigger them, or there are certain things that might overwhelm them, and you have to be very taking your time with it and cautious about it and decision making. And sometimes you're not mentally prepared to do that. You know, sometimes you don't want to do that. Sometimes you want to distract yourself. But it's a good idea to not do that. Is all I'm saying. And if it gets too much for you, then be honest with your person about it, because that's a way you can build a healthier, stronger, lasting bond with them. Okay, so I didn't mean to get all like dark on you and like talk about sad things with you or anything like that, but I do think it's like it's crucial and important, and I think it's also transformative too, because it can be taken as a metaphor. You can take it as a metaphor. You can take it literally, but maybe somebody in your past was suffering from something, and maybe some part of you was like, oh, well, I don't really know what that is, or I don't really know how to handle that, so I'm just gonna not even bother learning about it, or I'm not going to bother taking the right steps to like ensure that things get better, because maybe you just couldn't do it. And I think, Leo, that really isn't like you or who you are at your core, your essence. I think you've done everything you can, and I think that sometimes you get maybe caught up in like the illusion of like trying everything new and then not trying everything new and then trying, and it's like maybe just try one thing with this person, or maybe this person needs to try one thing with you. Maybe it's you that needs the support. Maybe it's you that's telling them that you have the illness and that they need you to, step like they need to step up, right? This is like deeper stuff than just meeting someone, okay? This is stuff that probably unravels over time, okay? But it is something to consider, okay? And yeah, we've got the Emperor and the King of Wands and the Three of Wands. Yeah. Oh, and the Seven of Wands. Yeah. So it's just like it's a time for you to like, really I feel like put yourself out there, Leo, not hold back. Embrace this new time and era in your life, and nourish your body, nourish your soul. And it's like you deserve like all the fixings, like lobster, all the fancy things. King of Wands, you've got like the gyro meat here, but there's a fire coming in the window, which is unusual. So it's like be cautious of those red flags, but also be ready to like, enjoy a nice, fancy, kick ass time. And also these carrots, I'm getting like, it's like caution almost. I feel like it's like you have to be cautious of things, and carrots, right? I'm thinking like the rabbits eat carrots, right? And I feel like sometimes it's like you want to feel nourished, and you want to feel seen, and you want to feel appreciated. And the Three of Wands is like, it's really telling me here that you're not you're not afraid to hold back about like what's inside. You're not afraid. You know that what you need to feel loved and nourished and cared for. You know what kind of way you want to be treated, like the Emperor here. You want to be treated like luxuriously, and you want to be, almost like spoiled here. Lobster, is like a special expensive treat, right? And it's like the most expensive thing on the menu, right? So you do like that stuff, and you do understand that you need to be cautious of the red flags, because if you're over here chilling out, right, being yourself here, like this giant stack of meat here, okay? If you're over here just being yourself, and these red fiery flames like come in and are like wreaking havoc on you, okay, how is that anywhere close to this energy of like be feeling nourished and feeling like it's okay to be yourself, and it's okay to share about what's inside you and how you're feeling, right? Because we all know like how sausages are made, right? It's like it's a pretty like weird list of ingredients that don't sound too appetizing, but then if you stick these sausages like on the grill or whatever, and you eat them up, they're pretty tasty. So it's like you want to you want to feel appreciated even if what's inside you has been told is like not the greatest stuff. Like if you come from a broken family, if you come from a long list of like people who've emotionally abused you, if you come through a long history of being a person who is always giving, and then you ask your person to give you something and they're like, yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of stuff, toxic relationships. But you're like, I'm not a toxic relationship waiting to happen. I'm not a person that's going to be a victim of emotional abuse. I'm not a person who is going to repeat the same cycles of like a broken family with my own family and my own person. Okay, you're going to choose to fill yourself with good, positive things, and you're going to cook up the best recipe to life there is, and you're going to enjoy a beautiful feast, and you're not going to let the red flags ruin it. You're not going to let the toxic people do that. And carrots are really good. Oh, they're also good for eyesight. Okay, they help with that as well. So seeing the potential ahead, seeing the endless possibilities that wait you, and the magician is all about that, putting all the ingredients together in this beautiful pot, and watching it cook and turn into a beautiful masterpiece. Okay, and that's what's going to happen for you, is you are going to have this beautiful masterpiece of a love life, and it's going to take some work. You're going to have to cut up vegetables, you're going to have to buy the ingredients and go to the grocery store, but it's going to be worth it, and it's going to be beautiful. That's what I have for you, Leos. Love and light always. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. Luna says bye.